Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world, it is I, Eric Beasy. And y'all know what time it is. It's time for the show we call Game Time Audible, where we talk sports with you, our favorite people, the fans of the Nighthawk Network, and the people that check out this podcast on both Facebook, YouTube, and here on the Bigo. What's going on, Bigo? We are here to talk to y'all today about some sports. I am very much looking forward to it. But let me tell y'all, we're going to do it a little different tonight, just a little bit. What's going to happen is I am here, but the man with the master plan this evening is that dude right there on the right of me. He is the one and only sports guru himself, Hugh Lee. What up, Hugh?
What's good, man? Everything all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. It's on you tonight, baby. That means that once we come back from the commercial break, this brother running the show. Whatever he want to talk about, we going to talk about it. Yes, anything. I mean anything. Hugh, I mean anything. You want to talk about, we talking about it. This your show today, baby. I'm your co-host. I'm running the board. You running your mouth. I'm backing you up. That's how we doing it. Is you ready?
I'm definitely ready.
Are you ready?
Ready.
And we will do this one for my mans, for the millions and millions. Well, at least a few in attendance. This will be
we gonna get there one day.
Hey, Eric, how about they go roll already trying to holler at you about them Cowboys.
Oh yeah, you already know. We gonna definitely talk about that.
All right, and then what up, though? What up, though, Pride?
What's up,
you like that intro, Pride? I figured you would. But nonetheless, people, we are about to get it in. But as always, we're going to be trying to get your waters, get your chips, your dips, whatever you getting, your pizza, all of that. And,
chip, dip, and whips.
Right. Then come on back and let's kick it, baby. Hold on.
For the tomorrow show.
Gotta talk that wrestling out to steal the Rock's catchphrase. Again, that ain't on me today, bro. That's on the guru. The guru talking wrestling, we talking wrestling. If he ain't talking wrestling, then you hit up, my guy. That's how it be. All right, let's get to these commercials when we come back. Game Time Audible, the Sports Guru edition in full effect. Let's do it. Nighthawk Network presents Pastor Sean Love. Pastor Sean Love, devoted father and husband, a residing pastor at the River Rouge Bible Assembly in River Rouge, Michigan. Join him as he gives us messages from God's Word, Bible study, and encouragement. You can find him on YouTube under Sean Love.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Behind the Blue Curtain, Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. Unscripted talk on police reform and race relations.
And now, Behind the Blue Curtain's law enforcement liaison, retired 32-year Chicago police veteran, homicide detective, former commander, sergeant, grant writer, lecturer, and adjunct professor, Joseph J. Mosley.
Behind the Blue Curtain's minister of common sense, former 12-year Fort Worth police officer, educator, voice of reason, and unapologetic practitioner of sound judgment, the young scholar, LaRonda Young.
Behind the Blue Curtain's co-host, fact checker, and investigative journalist, Isidoro Rodriguez.
Black on, get into it. Black on, look at that David Ford, right there, that's his down. Black on, he don't know Tom. Look at that, that David Ford, that's his name. He don't know Tom. Yeah. Yes. Oh, here we go. Oh, I can't see the demons. I can't see the demons, but I can see the light.
We are creating black luxury across this country.
We are back, baby. We are back. What's happening? What up, you?
What's going on, my brother? You already know what time it is. We about to get right into it, man. On the Good Edition. How do you feel right now about what's going on in the MLB playoffs?
All right, right now we talking playoffs, MLB. My question, Hugh, we got AL or NL? Which one you want first?
You know what? We're going to go with the AL, man.
All right, American League, we got the championship series going on there. We got the Red Sox. We got the team, the hated team, those Astros. Now, here's the thing. We all know both these teams cheated at some point, okay? Everything pointed to, yeah, they all had the garbage can going on and the tapping and all of that. So it's kind of the worst of two evils at this point. If you are a baseball player, you don't see neither one of these fools win. But that being said, I just think Boston don't have enough of what they need to make it happen. I definitely see Houston moving on to the World Series. Now, will they win that bad boy? I think it depends, and we'll get to that in a minute. But truthfully, I'm looking at the pitching. Evaldi, usually very dominant. He is tired. They are using him in other situations. They are kind of playing with his rest schedule and all of that. I think that is costing them. Remember, that is a person who's had 2 Tommy John surgeries. So that arm, though still throwing 100-mile-an-hour bullets, is still on some shaky ground. Bottom line is I look at the hitters on Houston. I look at the hitters in Boston. Boston hitters are good for Boston. Houston's good wherever they go. So based on that, I'm going with Houston. What about you, Hugh?
Man, definitely right now because it looks good on paper to see Boston playing and doing as well as they are. It got tied up last night, which kind of surprised me because Boston was rocking, and then it got to the late innings where they ended to lose their lead. But scary part is, even without my man George Springer, they're still hitting like with heavy bats over there in Houston. I just don't see Boston doing enough to be able to beat them, man. I'd be surprised, but at the same time, too, from what I seen, I took a glimpse before we did the show today that Houston was up 6-0. So I don't know if there's going to be no coming back after that one.
I mean, bottom line, they got Brantley, they got Correa, they got Altuve. You got them 3 in the lineup. Somebody gonna hit something.
You know what's funny to me too, E?
What up, y'all?
I always thought your man Michael Brantley seems like more like a Yankee type dude, man. I don't know. Maybe it's me, but I always thought that he was a Yankee type looking dude. Clean cut, always, not in trouble. He seemed like, he never had a baby pit bull in his life or anything of that nature. He didn't struggle. He always seemed like he had to fit the film in his mouth and the royal treatment. I always thought that he should have been a Yankee, man. I might be pushing it, but hey, dreams can come true.
You pushing it. But yeah, let me shout out to people here on the Bigo. They are jumping in here, Hugh. We got to show them some love.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
King Self, what up, man? Thanks for the love. We got DJ Mixer Gamer. What's going on? We got Big Red in the house. Ross's band, Keon Shea, Miss Millions, and Mike Million in the building. What's going on? All of y'all, what's happening? Thanks for coming through, showing love. We appreciate y'all. And while you're out there, who y'all got going to the World Series right now? That's what we're talking about. You going with the Red Sox, you going with the Astros, and in the National League, you going with the Dodgers or the Braves. And let me talk about that right quick, Hugh.
Oh, yeah, we definitely got to jump into that because you know what I told you before we got on the show. But I'm going to go ahead and let you get the floor.
I mean, bottom line is we got the Dodgers and the Braves. They both done been there before. These
yes, sir.
With playoff experience up to wazoo, particularly the Dodgers. They done pretty much been on the edge of it or winning it the last 4 or 5 years now. So you got plenty of that. Then, of course, the people that were acquired by the Dodgers, the Max Scherzers and the big fella. Yeah, I go with the names, y'all. Y'all know how I get.
Max Scherzer, you talking about my man's who just came over there?
No, I'm talking about the future Hall of Famer, my man. La Machine.
Oh, Albert?
Yes,
Mr. Pujols?
These are people.
You can't talk about him, man. You better put some respect on his name, E.
Yeah, I do need to put some respect on that man's name. He did 100 home runs. You ain't supposed to forget that. But yeah, y'all, considering the experience factor, you would think it's Dodgers all day. But them Braves is a young and hungry bunch. And I love me some Freddie Freeman. I love him. Last year's MVP and one of the going factors in terms of the World Series, when you look at the World Series odds of who will go and who will be MVP, Freddie Freeman is right up there on that list.
You know what I was saying too, E, man. I looked at it and I said, man, I was a little nervous earlier in the season when Ronald Acuna got out and he was out the whole season. I said, man, that's going to take a little bit of that, what you could say, the little swag they had, man, because they had a lot of flavor, man. They was energetic, and it seems like whenever Ronald Acuna was at the beginning of your lineup, man, he was going to put up points, man. He was damn near having an MVP season, man. Back in the picture. Man, I don't even know if the Dodgers would have won that game they just won, in all honesty.
No, it wasn't. He was damn near having. He was having an MVP season. When he went out, he was top 3 in batting average, home runs, RBIs, and stolen bases. So, yeah, he was getting it in. Hopefully, he'll be fully healthy next year. But, yeah, my thinking is whoever wins this series between the Dodgers and the Braves, they go into the World Series, and they're going to be the champs.
Mm-hmm. I definitely wouldn't take that past up, man. But you know what I told you earlier? I'm going to definitely put it on display right now and see if people agree or disagree. Really don't care. I feel like after that game last night when they had their foot on the Dodgers' throat and they let the Dodgers somehow come back and win that game, I'm looking at the Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl all over again. But yeah, it's going to take display of this series.
Man, why would you do that to the citizens of Atlanta? For some championship gold. Ain't won a championship since the last time the Braves won the World Series in '95. Why you do that, Tom? You ain't
and
right.
I would definitely like to see that, man. But you know, E, they should have definitely finished that game off, and they didn't yesterday, which kind of shocked me.
Yeah, that being said, I'm looking at the Braves pitching, and it's kind of thin, man. You know, they have a lot of injuries on their pitcher staff this year.
Yeah, I agree.
Come back to home. I mean, you know, the Dodgers full over there. Hell, remember, they got Clayton Kershaw on that staff, and we hardly even talk about him anymore.
And not at all.
And he is a Hall of Famer. And he ain't even the third best person on that staff right now. Figure that out.
And they still got David Price, don't they?
Exactly.
Man, what the hell is going on, Dodgers?
They have an embarrassment of riches right now. And I'm sure if our buddy Pastor Tillman was in the building, shout out to you, Pastor Tillman, if you catch this later on.
Yes,
he'll really be singing the praises of his Dodgers, most definitely.
I want to know how you feel about them Rams now since Stafford after throwing them on the bus over the years.
I have a very sneaky suspicion we'll be hearing from Pastor Tillman sometime.
All right, E. You got your MLB fix?
Yeah, I'm pretty much good with it. I'm waiting for that World Series. What you got next?
Yeah, I definitely agree, man. Definitely want to see who's gonna make it in the World Series, man. We're gonna keep our eye out. Okay, man. NBA kickoff, man. Yesterday, man. Was you into it, or were you to the point where you were like, yeah?
Man, I was up at 1 a.m. watching that damn Lakers Golden State Warriors game. Are you for real? That was
man. because that first game was a blowout. It was at first it seemed like it was going to be good, and then Milwaukee just went away with it, man. But that last game was definitely worth watching, man. The West Coast games be on late as hell, but you got to watch it definitely when it had that marquee matchup, man. And one of my boys called it too, man. It was funny because I didn't think that they were going to perform and do what they did. But my boy Rob, man, he said, "Hey, Golden State gonna get these boys, man. They're gonna catch them slipping." And I'm thinking, I don't know, man. I think LA will be ready for them, and they'll be ready for the task. But they did seem ready at a point in time in the game. But at the same time, my man's Russell Westbrook, man. He just got to get it together, man. Russell, man, you can't keep shooting the ball and keep going out of control like that, man. You're over there for one reason and pass the ball to all those other dudes over there, man. You are not the guy who need to take all the shots now. Take them when necessary.
Now, hold on. Here's where I slightly disagree with you. What up, Van? Here's the thing. You got to remember, the oldest team in the league this season by far is one Los Angeles Lakers squad. The average starter is about 32 years old, okay? Look at their starting five last night. Bazemore, who actually played rather well in his spot. Then you have 36 plus LeBron James, 36 plus Carmelo Anthony, 33 plus Russell Westbrook. You had Dwight Howard popping up in there from time to time, but then you had DeAndre Jordan, and he in his 30s. That was they started lineup. Plus, you got Anthony Davis, who might as well be 30-something because he's been in the league since between all the injuries and the fact he done been in the league damn near 10 years already. There's that. So you put all that in there, and you got to realize that team is going to have problems with injury. That team is going to have to rest some people sometimes. That team is basically going to play some young, energetic teams on a back-to-back, and that night they go get their doors blew off. And everybody gonna be like, "Oh Lord, the Lakers! Oh no, what they gonna do? They too old. I told y'all. Y'all better try to get in." All this other bullshit go get said. Okay, don't worry about them Lakers. They'll be there. Them last final 8 teams in the season, they'll be one of them. Trust me. But that being said, last night, Golden State is coming back, y'all. They coming back. Last night, remember, Klay Thompson, he still ain't cleared to play yet. And that's going to be crazy when he do. I mean, think about it. That man just had a torn Achilles and a torn ACL and COVID. He done been through it all. He done been through it all. And they basically expect him to come back sometime around about Christmas. If they playing this good without him, and they add that to the mix, ooh, baby.
Yeah, them boys, man, they look good, man. And definitely can't leave out man, Steph Curry triple-double last night, man. He carried the way, and I was really surprised, man, because they came in there with, composure, and they just basically went and handled business, man. It was business as usual. That's just how Steph mentality is. He's a gunslinger. He go out there, he handled his work, and he out his business. But the 21, 10, and 10, man, that was actually impressive. Definitely for the first game hitting that triple-double, man.
I mean,
that was
is Steph Curry is the best shooter in the NBA, period.
Without a doubt.
So any night that he is on, it's on. It don't matter who checking him, who ain't checking him. If you see the game last night, he got the triple-double because he took what they offered at the time. They had people that couldn't guard him. He did them. He did them. When they had people that could guard him, he passed appropriately to the open person, and they scored. He basically got his rebounds because while you was trying to body up the big folks, he came on in and scooped up what he needed to scoop up. If they play like that throughout the season, not only will they be in the conversation, they will not have to worry about no play-in game or none of that this year, but they will definitely be in the playoffs on their own merit.
I feel like, man, it's a long season to go. But yeah, if they continue to play like that and come off and then do what they got to do and handle business without worrying about anything else and focusing on Klay when Klay gets back and just focus on business at hand, I think they're definitely going to be one of the top 5 seeds in the West. I might be going out there when I'm saying that, but by far, I definitely think that'd be the case.
Yep. Okay, we got regret. I look like an old friend of yours, Antonio. Antonio. I know Antonio. I'm E-Beezy. What's going on, bro? All right, back to what you were saying there, Hugh.
Yeah, man. We finished with the NBA, man. You know, they had their two games.
No. I can't let you get away with that.
You want to go with the first game then with the Bucks and
No. How you gonna not address the biggest story in the NBA right now? Come on, man. Come on,
Little
bro.
Benjamin. Little Benjamin.
Okay, people.
Man, such an idiot, man. That was funny. You said that he just went full black and he left the right side out of it and he straight being the N word. But at the same time, I would definitely have to agree because he's been like a cotton kid who want to have his way. But in this situation, we're going to discuss what he did, man, in practice, man. He or the lack thereof, because he acted like he didn't even want to care. He didn't even go through the motion or act like that he took pride into even being back with the team. When you first off came back, you did everything, the protocols, make sure you were fully vaccinated, talk to the brass, and did what you had to do just to play like that, man, or act like you didn't have the passion for the game. That's why I felt like Doc suspended them for that one game, but I feel like he should have suspended longer than that. I would have suspended them like 3 or 4 games just to let them know the team involved around you. But at the same time, let's take a little further. Do you still feel like they should just say, rather than trying to keep him and go through that type of stuff the rest of the year, should they just go and try to find a trade candidate for him?
Hold on. I'm about to play a couple sound bites for you, and we'll talk about it. This is actually Doc Rivers at the press conference yesterday discussing one Benjamin Simmons. Shimona. Well, hold on, y'all. We got to get the commercial ad out the way. But yeah, he definitely had some thoughts about what was going on. It's clear when you listen to this that Doc is kind of tired of the whole thing. But right now, he is still trying to be inclusive when it comes to Mr. Simmons. And his comments kind of lean toward that. So hold on as we play out.
Do you think they're pushing the limits, though, as far as what they want?
Here we go.
Some building or something like that. No. So if you guys practice Thursday, we'll be back out here. We're going to expect that, yes. I don't go through all that. That's internal stuff. That's for like fodder for you guys to write. Like he stormed out. Like I don't do all that stuff. I'll let you guys do that. Same thing. That's internal. As I said, like that's for you guys to write about. Like figure that one out. So we had a great practice. So I'll let you figure it out. You will be welcome back next practice. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What was he doing that was making him distraction? That's none of your business. That's why practice is closed. And that's, honestly. So not being a jerk, but there's things you need to know, and then there's things you don't. Do you feel he wants to be here? Now you have a person. Well, today, not, obviously. We told him to go home. But hopefully at some point, yeah, I do.
So people, that is Doc talking about the situation. Now keep in mind, practice was closed, but there were cameras available to see what was going on in practice. You oftentimes saw Ben participating in the drills, but kind of just going through the motions. Like there were points where they were practicing and setting up things, and there was Ben on his phone or Ben kind of looking off into the distance. He clearly, as Doc pointed out, did not seem like he wanted to be there. That's why he got suspended today from practice. But that being said, this is all a game right now. Okay, hold on. Pride definitely checking in on this one.
He hate Ben.
Ben Simmons is horrible. I realize this brother needs help, and he needs to admit this to the team and to take it from there. Captain Kangaroo showing up to practice only because they didn't pay him his $8 million, and having a phone in his pocket is one of the worst things I've ever seen in pro sports history. Now, keep in mind, Pride, he is not the only Philadelphia 76ers to feel some type of way about practice. We talking about practice, not the game. Practice. But all that being
said, though.
All right, and then of course, hold on. There was the comments of one Ben Simmons who basically said, "Man, I ain't got time to worry about that man no more. We've been doing our thing. Chemistry been good. He gonna do what he do. That's not for me to worry about. That's for the organization and whatnot." But that being said, it's pretty much got to the point where everybody's tried to talk to Ben. He's been in town for a good week now. I'm pretty sure it's been like, "Oh, that's Joel. No. Oh, that's Kylie Jenner. Hey, Kylie, what's up?" It's been like that. You know what I'm saying? So all that being said, at this point, he probably had him not be at practice today and probably would happen again tomorrow because you don't want to lose the rest of the locker room, okay? That's basically saying if you show him all the suspension attention, woo, 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 Ben, woo, woo, woo. Well, what about me? And the one person he definitely can't afford to lose in that locker room is one Joel Embiid. And when he shut down on you, yeah, you basically gonna be looking for a job.
Do you think they're putting too much into him, though, man, as far as when it comes to the trade value?
Okay, well, I'm so glad you asked that, my friend. There's somebody else who spoke on this subject. Let's see what he had to say. We got to go through the commercial thing again. Hold on, let's see.
Because they asked for way too much capital.
Because understand, there have been a couple teams who have reached out to Philadelphia. One of them, Sacramento, but apparently they were not offered enough for their satisfaction. And the one we all seem to know about, that situation with Portland, where they offered CJ McCollum and a couple other players and a few draft picks, but apparently that was not enough. But hold on. Let's see what Mr. Stephen A. had to say about it on his show this evening.
He was due to address the media for the first time since demanding a trade out of Philadelphia. He doesn't want to answer to the media. He doesn't want to answer to the local fan base. He doesn't want to wear a 76ers uniform. He wants no part of this situation with the Philadelphia 76ers. Is he wrong? You're damn right he's wrong. Because it wasn't the Sixers that did anything to him. He did it to himself. The man shoots 14% from three-point range. He has no perimeter game to speak of at all. He's great in every other way, but not when it comes to that or free throw shooting. That's on him. That's not the fault of the Philadelphia 76ers fan base, nor the 76ers organization. Nevertheless, he wants out. And because he wants out, and a player of that magnitude has the ability to be a disruptive, dare I say, cancerous force on a team, he's basically prioritizing for the Sixers organization. You need to get me the hell up out of here as soon as you possibly can. Doc Rivers suspended him to let him know, I'm going to cost you some money now. You ain't going to come up here and be disruptive on purpose in an effort to try to get yourself traded and think that that's going to work with us and you're going to still get your money. So obviously it's an ugly situation and it's bound to get continuously ugly until Daryl Morey, Elton Brand, and Doc Rivers find a way to get Ben Simmons the hell up out of there. It's just that simple.
And there it is in a nutshell. And I completely agree with Stephen A. Right now, it's like, okay, we are all healthy and we doing good. We kind of want somebody to play. And yeah, Ben, we welcome you back. Well, yeah, I'm here. But I brought COVID with me. Can COVID come? As long as COVID's here, I'm cool. I'll stay here as long as COVID's here. And right now he's bringing a cancerous COVID situation into that locker room. How can you sit there being basic player A, see them coddle and kiss this dude's butt, and not feel some type of way? You see Embiid feel some type of way. You see my man Pride feel some type of way. Check out what he's saying. Personally, I think it's going to have to either buy him out, and keep in mind, we talking about over $200 million, Pride. That's a president no team in the league wants to set out. Or simply take the hit to get him out of there because he has burnt every bridge he has possible. Surf that BS. All right, now here's the thing, people. My personal opinion, he got to go. He got to go at this point. It's all going to come back to that one night, the first night You have him carted his butt out there because in the ideal world, he shouldn't even be starting. Starters minutes are for people who have earned them. You have not earned them because you have not been to training camp. Just because you make the $30 million don't automatically mean you are the starter. Yes, that works like that in most places. It should not work in this case because of how you dealing with this. You want to be funny acting? We gonna be funny acting. You come off the bench. And I purposely had you come off the bench so that when you come off the bench by yourself and come into that game in Philly, you already know what it is. They clowning dude. They clown him every time he get the ball, and the first time he take shot that don't make it, or a free throw, they gonna make it to where he wish he had never seen what Philadelphia looked like. Not to mention the fact, okay, when you do get traded, you is not welcome in Philly no more. Ever. Ever. You might end up being a Hall of Famer one day. And when it comes time to throw your jersey in the rafters in Philly, that will never happen based on how you doing this. Ain't nobody checking for you right now, Ben. You got to understand you're on the wrong end of this, bro. Charles Barkley clowning you. Stephen A. clowning you. I'm clowning you. Skip and Shannon. Everybody clowning you, bro. Pride clowning you. It's a wrap for you, son. And understand, this is a rare situation, Hugh. And I'm sorry I'm taking up too much time. But my thing is, I understand this is a guaranteed contract and what have you. But Ben, if you really want out, you go to your agent, you go to the player association like, look, I'm willing to renegotiate my contract this one time just to make this happen. And you make it to where it's affordable for you to get out, and then they release you for whatever or however and go from there. I understand they don't want to lose what they invested in you, but you dealing with this differently, so I think they got to deal with it different. And I know you don't want to start setting that precedent in the NBA like, okay, well, we can ask people to change their guaranteed contract, but in this case, I wouldn't be mad at it. All right. Has been time is up. The black race can't afford you no more. Oh, wow. I ain't going to go there far, but okay. Go ahead, Hugh. My bad, dog.
He put himself in a situation, and I'm not even really caring about discussing this anymore because this matter doesn't really matter to me, and the fact that I don't feel like he matters to me, period. You know, he's not that good of a player. He's not trying to work on the fundamentals to try to be a better player. And I just feel like he's just coasting, man. I think he believes he's drinking the Kool-Aid that everybody else putting up there about how good of a player he is and how good of an athlete he is. And, you know, people start to believe that. You know, you believe your own stink, start to believe your own hype. That's what could be your demise. I just don't really too much care for him as a player, and all the stuff he put in his team through is childish, man. And I just feel like he needs to figure out, or I know Philly want to get ransom for him, but you're not going to get King's ransom for a guy who's not really that good. So they need to figure out the best packages they can get right now and take it from there. Because I thought Portland had a good, reasonable package, but they're going to have to compromise, man, because they want too much for a guy who's not really worth that, in my opinion.
Bottom line, you get a player of close to equal value, and you go ahead. If it's Bradley Beal, if it's CJ McCollum, if it's half the Piston squad, you get what you can get, and you move on. And when you get to wherever you get to, Ben, this is what I need you to say. Hold on, you know I got to grab a mic for this. Okay. Yes, your question. Okay, yes, I am fully committed to this team. I know there's been things said about me in the past. I know I need to work on my perimeter game and my jump shot, and that I have these people that I have brought in. They're going to help me with that. I've been practicing 3 times a day. I'm going to put in a couple extra hours work, and part of it is mental, so I'm going to bring in this mental specialist to help me get out my head with it. And I'm sorry that it went this way, but I want to be good. Just I ain't like it in Philly. They be teasing me. Please show me love. I'll do good. I promise. Something like that need to be said, okay? Otherwise, when you get there, wherever you go, you're going to run into the same situation. As soon as you come in that game and be half shooting the ball and whatnot, them people gonna get on you too. Lord knows don't come here to the D. We gonna clown that ass. Well, okay. Hugh hit it on the nose that he isn't trying to put the work in to become a better player. Look at what Greek Freak has accomplished from hard work and has been set out and showed up and showed his furry, spineless koala bear. Oh, man, you really, really don't like that, brother. Ooh-wee. What's going on, China? We see you. But yeah, okay, let's move on, man. We talked about it too much.
Man, we can't go without talking about that grade. Well, I feel like some players was great. Some players didn't step up to the expectations on the WNBA champion.
All right. You know I got to talk about that. Yeah, Pride is your favorite part of the show, baby. But one last thing. Kyrie, take the damn vaccine. Period. Okay, let's move on. Got to give props where it's due. Congratulations to the world champion Chicago Sky. Y'all did it. You became the first team in the WNBA history to have a 500 record and win the WNBA championship. Unheard of. They straight up finished, what was it, 18-18? And won the championship. Just retire Uncle Ben. Yeah, I promise you, I had to tell him the story. Understand, the spiritual, emotional leader of that squad is one Candace Parker. Understand Candace's story. She grew up Southside Chicago, not far from where another NBA legend grew up. That would be the man known as Dwayne Wade. Okay? Other people grew up around that time. Other people that was mentors to her early on in life. People that would come back to the city. Chicago, very much like Detroit in that way. Some of our superstars, they come back and they show some of that love that they got here. So you have people like Juwan Howard and stuff like that that were in her corner and wanted her to succeed. She ends up getting recruited by every damn school in the country because she was one of the best players in the country at the time. She goes down to Tennessee because she saw the great Pat Summitt as more than just a coach, but more like a family figure, like an auntie. And the thing was that she liked about it when she got down there, Pat would be on her ass. On her ass. She treated her like she was scum, like she was the 12th man, okay? And she did that. She knew she was good, but she knew she could be great. It would be to the point where she would go down and they would practice and she would score. They'd be like, that one don't count. Why? Because you didn't play no defense. You're not going to be here if you don't play defense. Freshman year, she was pulling her out of games and crucial moments. You're not playing defense. Defense wins championships. So all that being said, she grew up down there in Tennessee, okay? She comes to the league. Her husband, who actually was the better thought of person at the time in terms of the league, the man they used to call the landlord, one of the best nicknames in sports, I swear. Sheldon Williams, you know, of course, he is a Duke Blue Devil. So he's in the league. He's playing in Atlanta. She's basically drafted to LA. Their marriage kind of goes through a rocky state, you know. She's here. He's there. They crisscross in the country. Basically, at one point, she goes overseas to play. That kind of had a strain on the marriage. It was not good. They eventually get to the point where they decide they want to have kids. Now, understand, that's a difficult decision to make for a WNBA player because that takes away maybe 1 or 2 years of your quality time in the league. But she made that decision. Meanwhile, other people got to shine while she was gone. You know what I'm saying? The Tarazis and the Sue Birds and things of the world. Then it comes time for her to go to the Olympics, and she doesn't get picked to be on an Olympic squad, even though at that time, she is the highest paid player in the league. Think about that. WNBA, you the best, highest paid player in the league. You just coming off a championship, and you not good enough after being the MVP of the league and the finals to be on the Olympic squad? You know how crazy that sounds? That's like saying, LeBron, yeah, we got a squad. You good. Go on, sit at home. So, yeah, she felt some type of way about that. I feel some type of way about that to this day. Only thing I feel stronger about is how they did my man Zeke. You know you was wrong, Mike. You know you was wrong. But anyway, she gets past all that, raises her kid. Sparks end up winning another championship. At this point, it's like, okay, what can I do now? I've won MVP. I've won championships. I want to go back home and make it happen. I want to do it in the shack. So she goes to management like, yeah, you know, I like LA and all, but I really want to go back home. Let me do my thing. So here she is, Chicago, trying to do what Dwayne Wade couldn't do, trying to do what yeah, I go to name.
She trying to do what LeBron James did.
Yeah, but basically in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Point guard, help me out, y'all. New York Knicks. Point guard. What's his name? He played for the Pistons. He played for Chicago. He won the MVP. He went to Memphis. I can remember all these facts, but can't remember his name. It's killing me. But anyway, she goes back home to Chicago. She's there for one reason only: bring a championship to Chicago Sky. Chicago Sky been an organization 16 plus years in the league. They never won it. They went to the finals once, didn't get there. So here we go. The season goes on. Olympics go on. The season's all broke up because of COVID and all that and everything else. They get to the finals. They barely get in, 6th seed. They go through the whole one game to get to the next round. They almost lose first one, so on and so forth. But then all of a sudden, they get hot. They do what they need to do. And guess what? They end the finals. Now, here's the problem. They face the Phoenix Mercury. It's at least 4 people on that squad that will end up being in the Hall of Fame one day. You got Diana Taurasi, the leading scorer in the history of the league. You got the all-time leader in blocks, or soon to be after she passes Lisa Leslie, when we talk about Brittany Griner. You got a couple former Dookies on that squad that play very well, shoot the ball well. It's a lot of good folks on that Phoenix Mercury squad. You got the short end of the stick on your end. You basically got you and Miss Quigley and Vandersmoot, who is actually a very good guard, y'all, coming out of Gonzaga. But it didn't look like they was going to win that bad boy. But you know what? They toughed it up. They sucked it up. And then when they got to Chicago, it all changed. That crowd that you saw in Chicago, Hugh, that's what the WNBA could be with the right investment.
Could be.
Understand, when they got to Chicago, if you check out Chicago news, they was hyping it up. Let's go see the Sky. Let's support our Sky. Let's interview so-and-so, so-and-so. Think about who was at that game, yo. Chance the Rapper. Basically all the Chicago people. Ye was gonna go, but you know, Ye been doing other stuff. But yeah, basically all the major folks in Chicago, all the Bulls, when they weren't able to come, they at least sent wives and things to represent. The crowd was packed, people. That is not the usual WNBA crowd. And they came with the full energy, bro. And that is what helped to bring them to that point. And that's what helped them to win that championship. Because she did it for them, and they in turn had her back. I love it.
Crazy part too was when I seen it, I was like, man, it was weird to me. Remember I talked to you, said, man, what the hell going on? We thought Phoenix would be a little bit more competitive, but some of them games, most of them didn't look competitive, man. It was like Chicago just put their will out there, man, and they believed. And like you said, with Candace Parker, man, they basically really did a good job, man. And we can't go without mentioning Kalea Cooper too, man, because she balled out in that whole series too, man. It was just really impressive, man, because if you would have told me they were going to, basically beat up on the Phoenix Mercury, I wouldn't have believed it. Definitely after seeing that emotional series they had with Las Vegas, man.
Yep, and then of course, I don't like how Phoenix played it at the end, where they basically made themselves unavailable to talk to the media afterwards. Their coach pretty much had to speak for them. I understand they were upset and felt like they should have won, but it is what it is. I mean, bottom line is Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner, they have nothing to be ashamed of. They balled. They had a good season. Remember, they was the 5th ranked squad. They weren't even supposed to make it that far. They weren't, they beat between the two of them, Chicago and Phoenix. They beat the top 3 playoff teams in the league to get to that point. So they definitely both had good seasons, but we know Taurasi was hurt, basically playing on one leg for a lot of that, but no excuses. They lost. Chicago won. Give them their respect, man.
And that happens a lot in professional sports, man, where a person to feel a certain way or they won't make themselves present when they lose and in the emotional moments, man. I was surprised that when Cam Newton lost and how he carried himself, but at the same time, you can't have an emotional moment where you put me in a situation right after losing and then to try to express myself the best way I could, man. I'd probably be a little pissed off having cameras in my face and everything too, man. I would just want to, if I win, I want to soak in a moment, and if I lose, I want it to be the same way. More or less, I would definitely have something to say in a winning effort, but in a losing effort, man, you know how your emotions are in that type of situation, man. But we all feel like people do it as classless and it's not really showing respect. But you never know, man, unless you in that moment.
True. But yeah, like I said, it was a good WNBA season. I'm looking forward to next season.
I definitely will be checking it out too.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to college basketball season for that matter. Shout out to my team, chilling down there in Sam Houston State. What's going on, cuz? Hopefully you will have a good season as well. Looking forward to seeing you ball out, boy. Get it, Ken. Get it, K. Do your thing, baby. But all right.
Yeah. I want to holler at you. How do you feel about hockey, man? Do you want to go with this one?
Well, Hugh, you got to talk about that one story.
Absolutely. I was just joking with you. Usually we pass hockey up so much, but this is one we definitely have to talk about. Where, how do you feel about that? I'm calling it the Evander Kane NFL scandal. How did that come across to you?
Understand, we are having a very severe problem here in this country in regards to COVID and people's belief in the vaccine. What he has done has added to that problem. Today, there have been several things in regards to vaccinations that they have reestablished and made rulings on. I will definitely be talking about them Sunday on the other podcast. But in terms of America right now, we got 57% of the country vaccinated, 65% with one dose, which makes no sense to me. And then everybody else, the 60 plus million that's eligible at this point, not doing it, refusing to do it. And yes, people, unfortunately, the numbers are going back up. Here in Michigan, it's getting bad, Hugh. We had over 100 plus people die in the last 2 days, based on vital records. And over 7,000 people test positive for the vaccine. For COVID. Again, one of the top 5 worst in the country right now. So here you are, supposed to be a role model as an athlete, a professional athlete. And you, my friend, have taken it to the point where you said, okay, yeah, I'm not going to get vaccinated. And I'm going to lie about the fact that I'm vaccinated. And not only am I going to lie about it, I'm going to have paperwork showing that I did to make it worse. Understand, this is a federal crime now, people. Let me say this very clearly, particularly for BG. You know who you are. You know what those initials are. If you are caught with an illegal vaccination card, you can be prosecuted. It is not a misdemeanor. It is a felony. It is basically falsifying a federal form, okay? It's like basically doing your IRS taxes and saying your name is Ye when it's really Kanye West. All right? So when you do that and it's that deep, you need to be punished. And the NHL, they went there. 21 games without pay. For that man, that's going to cost him over $1 million+. And that being said, he got off easy. Because I personally think some government involvement need to be in this too. Because
Absolutely.
you're a professional athlete does not make you above the law. If you were a basic person and they found you had falsified that document, you be bonded right now. You would not be able to leave the country or what have you. I think he should get that type of punishment. It's that important, especially in a country with an administration that's pleading with people damn near. Please take the vaccine. I don't know how many times I've seen President Biden say that in press conferences over the last several weeks, because he knows his presidency rides on that very thing. The one thing that he's constantly stated throughout the campaign: in order to get the country back to where we need to be, we must control the virus. So when you and people like Uncle Drew and all these other people put these dispersions into people taking the vaccine for whatever your reasons are that you tend not to even cite, that only makes a bad situation worse. Again, I will never come on this show or any of my other shows and tell you 100% beyond shadow of a doubt you have to take the vaccine. You must do so. I don't feel like that. It's your body. You are entitled. But also remember, your decision not only affects you, it affects everyone around you. Because if you are to contract COVID, there is that possibility that you can give it to others. And even if you don't have nothing but a sniffle out the deal, the one person that it may get to from you could cause that person to no longer be here and be part of the 5 million plus who are no longer here on planet Earth. So, yeah, I hate that he basically should get suspended for half the season. 21 games,
I agree. That's just basically just giving them a slap on the wrist, because to go to that extremity to lie about a vaccination card and for him to get caught, you know that they did a background check. It's like you can't be stupid enough to try to do something like that and think you can get away with it.
Absolutely.
Not only that, and then the thing is, he didn't have to lie about it. It's like they're looking at it, because I was talking to one of my homegirls who's Andrew at my job, one of my good friends, and she was like, all he had to do is be honest and say he didn't get vaccinated. It's a possibility he won't be able to play at the Canada games. They ain't playing stuff over there in Canada if he's not vaccinated. But at the same time, I was just disappointed for him to do something that dirty, man. Just low down and dirty. And, he didn't know how big of an effect it was. And like you said, if it was me or you doing something like that and trying to get into a job or something of that nature, because we don't have that athletic ability that he does to play the game he loved every day. And that would get us to jail possibly, man. And this guy just getting the 21 game suspension. Man, they could, like you said, put half of his salary and half of the season he should have been gone, because I don't think that's fair to just like you said, man. You're an athlete that you think you're above the law, and I just really felt like that left a bad taste in my mouth, bro.
Let me explain something, plain and simple. This is my vaccination card, people. If I did not have this and it was not legit, right now I should not be working at either one of the places that I currently work. It is required for both jobs for me to be vaccinated at this point in time. There are people who were not vaccinated at said jobs. They have been let go. Many companies are having that decision now. Do I want to let go half the staff because they refuse to get vaccinated? Or do I do what I feel to be the right thing to keep everything healthy and comfortable and let these people go? Over 90% of all the major players in all the major sports are currently vaccinated. Who the Smurf do you think you are to not only not do so, but to lie about it and make a mockery of it?
On that note, I'm glad you said that. That's going to swing us into the next segment. And that's going into the college football segment with the Washington State coach being fired, Nick Rolovich, from not being vaccinated. You have to be. It's a mandate that you be vaccinated in college, and he didn't want to take the actual vaccination, so get the vaccination. That being said, they terminated him. But the funny thing is, on top of that story today, I looked up and seen something flash across my phone on the ESPN page and said, now Nick Rolovich wants to sue because he was wrongly fired.
Oh yeah, he got to go that route. You want that money, okay? Understand? At this point in time, you're Washington State's coach. Y'all ain't having no great season. I promise you. If that's Nick Saban and he not vaccinated, and that's the rule at Alabama, oh, they're not firing Nick Saban. I promise you that. If you are the Ohio State coach, here the Michigan coach at this point, anybody along them lines, most of those schools actually do have requirements for all staff and faculty to be vaccinated. But again, if it was that particular individual, they make some type of exception for him. You don't have that cachet. But again, part of the problem, my friends, is the fact that at some of these other jobs that I mentioned, the big people, the big wigs are the ones that's not getting vaccinated. You can't just shut down Spirit Airlines completely because half of the pilots refuse to be vaccinated. You have to play these games like they did. Well, oh, we had to cancel. It was the weather. But I think we know what it really was about. And now there's other airlines saying, well, we're going to give y'all a little bit longer, okay? But please do it, please. Thank you, Bebop. Appreciate you. But yeah, folks, it's a mess right now. But most of these schools, particularly most of the Power 5 schools, have required that all people, staff, and students be vaccinated. This is not nothing new. He knew this for months. They gave him a deadline. He failed to meet it. They called his bluff. They fired that butt. And in the end, a lot of these cases will go to the courts. There's already 10 states in America that said, look, whatever these mandates is that the government about to put out for people having to be required to be vaccinated, they don't stand up here. We will fight it in court. So yeah, he has the right to do it just like everybody else. Good luck, buddy.
He's not a big household name, too, unfortunately. So I don't really think that'll be something that will hold merit. Because no disrespect, Mike Leach was probably the biggest coach that they have there, and now that he's left, it's like you can easily be replaced, and possibly with somebody who has a bigger name or star status. So. Yeah, he might as well kiss that job goodbye because regardless of the fact, I don't think that he'll be able to rebound after that.
And Orgeron need a job at the end of the year. You might as well hit him up. Yep, H2 in the building. What's going on, H2? Again, we started at 8. I know you like to make your grand entrance, but man, I like you to come on at 8. That's just me. You know, I'm just saying.
All right, you already know what time it is now since we already brushed on that college information in the news that went on with the firing. God was such a dummy, but anywho, we're going to get into some of them games, man. You know, Oklahoma State and Texas, that game. How did you feel about that, man? You know, I got my opinion, but I just want to kind of see where you go at and see where you at in this one.
It's a Big 12 contest. It went the way most of them do. Defense be damned. Let's sling that bitch here, there, and everywhere. And let's see who throw the most interceptions. Let's see who get the most receiving yards. Let's run it every now and then. Here we go. Helena Hologram. Hold on. Let me get this for a second. Hold on, you. Hold my beer, bro. Hold my beer. Man, do not come on our network, on my show. Talk about you bored with what we talking about? That ain't cool. Why you do that at? Come on, fam. Don't do me like that. We supposed to be better than that, fam. Come on, baby.
You know why H2 bored? Because the damn Baltimore Orioles the worst for the worst. So I'd be bored too talking about baseball.
Touche. And we only talked about baseball for like 12 minutes. Cut it out. Anyway.
What is up with your boys, though, man? The Texans, man. We thought this was the year they was going to make a comeback. And we seen the Red River rivalry last week, and we was like, damn, you know, they basically just let that game slip away. I feel like they did the same thing in this one. It seems like they got a track record now of holding the lead and just letting it slip, man. It's like, where's the passion at the end of the game, man? I don't feel like they're a good team as far as the players are, man. That might put their coach job in jeopardy. I'm just saying.
I really don't understand why Texas overall does not do better in the NCAA. Remember, when we talk about recruiting and where all the great players come from, you pretty much see major players from 3 places. And that's the 3 places where they can play football all year round: Texas, Florida, California. So with all those people in a state with over 30 million people in it, how do you not get the best of the best, the creme de la creme, to come to the biggest school in Texas? I do not understand. Texas should more or less recruit itself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what most athletes here in Michigan, if they are given the choice between Michigan and Michigan State, they usually go into one or the other. It should be the same way with Texas. Either it should be Texas, Texas A&M, and then everybody else come into play.
Man, I know you heard about the whole situation what's going on with LSU, man, with Ed Orgeron, man. They were saying after this year they're going to part ways, man, and I've been even hearing rumors of them saying that he lost the locker room.
Oh, it's a done deal already. They already signed off on it, Hugh. And
that's crazy, though, man, to see how they came off a championship and just for this to happen. But then, anytime when it comes to college or even the professional football, man, or just sports in general, man, you could be king of the crop one year and you could be independent to the doghouse, 1 year to the next. You know how it is. This is what have you done for me lately, league. So, yeah, that was just really bad, though.
I don't even think it's that deep, Hugh. I think it boils down to this. Ed Orgeron, he old school. The old school don't play no more. Or the pros. He's one of those, what the hell are you doing? Get in there. Do your job. I'm taking you out. I'm going to cancel your scholarship. You suck. You suck.
Yeah, his voice intimidating alone, bro.
I think part of it is that, man. He gets to that point with the players, and that 1 year, it worked. It got them to where they needed to go. They won a national championship. Most other years, that didn't play so well. And this is one of those years.
What surprised me, too, and we're going to slide into this game, too, the Florida versus LSU, the upset game. I didn't expect to see LSU come out and play with that passion. But it's like, damn, how did you lose the locker room when y'all won such an emotional game of that nature? Do you think it's not more or less like the locker room or the old school or the kids don't got thick enough skin that they pout and boo-hoo over everything?
What
because,
up, Princess Nene? Little mom, what's going on? But no, I mean, bottom line is it's still LSU. They still got talent on that squad. Sometimes talent just went out, period. Understand, if we didn't establish that, you're going to be gone at the end of the year, I'm sure some of the responsibility been passed off already to some of the other coaches. I'm sure right now, for the most part, Ed Orgeron will just be a figurehead. Just kind of, he'll play coach, he'll yell and what have you, but for the most part, during the week, it'll be like, had him do this. And he'll just sit in the office, collect his money. I think that's part of what it went down to. They played that game like it ain't about coach. It's about LSU. We showing up for that.
I believe he's going to bounce back and get a job, so I know he's not worried about that. But this was really confusing to me at first. I mean, like, damn, they just came off an emotional game like that. But like you said, they just probably was pumped for LSU as a whole versus him, too. And if he's that type of old school coach that's yelling and nagging in their ear and they're kind of sick of that type of situation or that atmosphere, then they probably just already brushed him off to the side and just focusing on LSU because, like you said, they know he ain't going to be there next year. They're not worry about him because he's an afterthought now.
True.
Okay. I want to talk about this next game, too. And I know this was a shocker game. It wasn't that shocking to me because I thought the game was going to go the way it did, but how competitive it was kind of surprised me. And to say it was competitive, it wasn't really that competitive, but competitive enough to Kentucky, man, versus Georgia. I think they did better than a lot of people expected them to do.
Kentucky is ranked, okay? Kentucky is for a reason. They're SEC. They got some good talent on that squad. If you've been watching all year, you would know that. Like I said, I've seen some of the teams they play. I've seen some of the highlights. It's a good squad there in Kentucky. They remember, if they're not in the SEC, they probably do better. But because they're in the SEC, they come off as kind of middle of the road. But it's a good middle of the road.
Was that their first loss too, if I'm not mistaken?
It's either their first or their second.
Yeah, because Kentucky been balling, man. I started to pay more attention, like to their running back and the quarterback, and just the system they run, man. It's not bad. Kentucky every other year or so come out and they have a half decent team, though. Yeah, I definitely can admit that.
Right. Now the question of the day is, how well do you think Alabama does with Tennessee this weekend?
Is it gonna be at home or on the road?
Okay, let me answer this question right quick for H2. These coaches basically are hired by the school to do them. Okay, there is no school system, as you would call it. You know, I understand what you mean by that, but no, most of these coaches are like, okay, you hire, we paying you blase million, you make us win. So they pretty much hit your squad, do what you need to do, let us know what you need, we go from there. So yeah, just about all the coaches work with their own system. The only time it's different is when you go to a school like, say, a Army or Air Force or something like that, where basically they didn't play the same system for decades, and it works. It kind of works in terms of the type of athletes that they have available.
Yeah, man. I was surprised though, man. But like you said, they're ranked, and I don't think that I'm a rank. But some of the ranked teams they played though, man, and like they humiliated. Like Arkansas, I thought Arkansas was going to play them a little better than what they did, and to see Kentucky just still be a little bit closer, like lingering around, that caught me off guard. But back to the subject in hand. Usually now when I'm looking at with Alabama, I feel like they definitely got a point to prove because there ain't no way that I thought that they were going to lose the game in the way they did too. It was basically because of the poor defense. They would just let them guys go up and down the field that last game when they lost, and they wanted to come out and show a little more passion than last game. But when it comes to man, I'm not sure. I'm not sure the Alabama team going to show up, bro.
Here's the thing. You keep talking about how Alabama has a poor defense. I disagree. It's not that it's poor. It's just not as good as it's been in recent years. I think if Alabama plays basic team A, they blow out basic team A. They keep that team at 8, 9, 10. Remember, the SEC has the toughest schedule in the country because it is the toughest league in the country. These schools that Alabama's playing, it's good people on these squads. It's some former Alabama people on these squads that went from there to the school they at now. I think you have too many expectations based upon your past experience with Alabama. Alabama has a good squad. There's a reason why they are still top 5 ranked. They should be.
Being at home, that makes it a little easier. But it seems like they're not. They don't take it as serious on the road, man. It seems like, or maybe they do. I just don't feel like they have enough battle-tested, games yet on the road. But being at home, I don't think it'll be too much of a worry. I wouldn't worry about them at home.
Okay. H2 is asking, so do you think college football is getting the same hype as it is in the past? I think it's getting more hype than it has in the past, H2, primarily for 2 reasons. One, remember, sports gambling is legal now. It is big business. When we talk about these sports books, the 2 major sports that people gamble on outside of the boxing matches is football and NFL football, okay? And when I say football, I'm talking soccer. But when we talk NFL football, there is that. So when we look at the NFL football, we also have to look at the minor league of the NFL football, which is college football. So, we are looking to see who is going to be the next big this and that when it comes to these NCAA games. Understand, if you are a Lions fan like myself, not like my partner, he ain't claiming his hometown. You look at these games and you say, man, we end up with the number 1 pick. What good is it going to do us? There is no dominant person in college football right now, period.
Not on offense.
They're not on defense, period. There is nobody that can look at college football right now and say, that's the next Deion Sanders, that's the next Lawrence Taylor, that's the next Ed Reed. I don't see nobody like that in college football right now.
To come to think about it, you're right, because the last 3 drafts was so loaded with players that it's like now you look up and you're like, damn, most of those guys are already taking a claim in the NFL. I don't think so, man. I
Yeah,
think we got a whole bunch of replacements on our team the way our team was built. And that's where I want to go next, man. We about to get into the NFL, man. And I'm looking at it right now, and I think it's going to be a long road for the Lions, man. And speaking of, we want to talk about the Lion Bowl. Man, Matthew Stafford coming back, man, with the Rams playing us. Not going to be good, man. I actually got them guys by at least 2 touchdowns. I was looking at some type of bogus report saying, oh, man, the Lions going to keep it close. With what weapon? I don't see that, man. If I'm a betting man, I'm a bet big on this bet, man. I would bet a 2-touchdown favorite to the Rams. Man, I don't even think Stafford going to even try as hard. He might put the pedal to the metal definitely to let Detroit know, okay, y'all had me and y'all messed up and y'all missed y'all opportunity. Or he might just show sympathy. But I'm going with him beating the brakes off the Lions, man. They probably have to take him out the game and put him in the second season because that game going to be a bloodbath.
I don't want to talk about this.
You have to.
So you mean to tell me my Detroit Lions, the team I grew up watching since the Billy Sims days and Barry Sanders and Megatron, that team right there, they about to go to LA and they can't win? That's what you're saying?
I'm looking at something like that too, bro.
That's how y'all feel?
Yes, I'm definitely seeing that.
Damn
and I think that touchdown that be garbage point. I think they're gonna kick 2 field goals each, and then it's gonna be the 13-35 because of garbage points. It ain't even gonna be caused by a long shot.
I think you're being too generous myself, Brad. Let's be honest. Most of these games that we weren't supposed to win, we was in them. We should actually be 2-4 right now, at least.
Agree.
That being said, we ain't played no team like the Rams yet. With all them weapons and that defense, and some of them hate Jared Goff.
You know Jared Goff.
And he going back to that big stadium where they gonna boo the shit out of him. Yeah. You know I have a rule, Hugh. Don't bet for or against the Lions. Yeah, this week I need to win some money. So yeah, I'm betting big on that ass. They're about to get stomped, y'all. And if they don't, I promise you, next week when we do the show, that's gonna be the first thing we talk about. How I was wrong in hell and how Matthew Stafford sucked. So that's the only way they lose this game is if somehow, some way, they get in Matthew's head, and that's what causes them not to win. Because, you know, he has a lot of friends still here in Detroit, but he definitely has some people that did not like him. I'm sure some of them wear the Honolulu blue right now. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting in some parts of that game. You think you are that, don't you? This the hand you hurt? That type of stuff.
It's definitely going to be some.
And same on the other end. We got a real quarterback now. Yeah.
It's going to get heated. It's going to get heated.
It could get real ugly. And I'm really interested to see, just like that week when Brady greeted Coach Belichick at the end of the game, I want to see what the handshake going to be like for Jared Goff and Sean McVay. That ought to be interesting too. Prayer can help. Ain't no prayer for them boys.
Not at all.
Right now, the odds makers in the sports book in Vegas have the Lions over under for the season 2.5. In other words, they win more than 3, you can win a ton of money. I'm almost tempted to bet it, but I can't. I can't. I said 4-13 to begin with, but right now, look at the rest of that schedule. We might win one of them their last Bear game, or maybe beat Vikings that other game. I don't see us winning on the rest of them. I don't.
We're gonna get into that marquee matchup last week that we thought was supposed to have been a marquee matchup or the matchup of the week. The Chargers versus the Ravens.
Straight up pride. That's how they should play it.
The players oh man, I wouldn't be surprised if something heinous like that happened either.
I ain't mad at that. I mean, bottom line, I ain't never had no real issue with Matthew like that. That was some of y'all hating, talking about he was trash. Bottom line is, dude always had that arm. Did he make some questionable decisions? Yeah, he did. But there was definitely worse quarterbacks out there. I think you're starting to learn that now. Now that we got down.
I like Jared Goff. But yeah, how did you feel about that last game though, man? Because well, as far as the Chargers and the Ravens, I thought it was going to be a marquee matchup, but to my disappointment, man, and I just want to know from your behalf, do you feel like the Ravens are just that good, or the Chargers was just more of a they're on the brink, but they're not ready yet type team? Because it definitely wasn't no matchup at all, man. It was like they definitely got humiliated that game. They're gonna have to definitely do better, man, on the bounce back.
Hugh, you just read too much into that. It's a 17-game season. Down there, every team in the league gonna have one of them games where they just don't really show up. It might be a practice situation. It might be the fact that they had to come across the country to play. It may have been something going on internally. All these things take effect. Most teams, even the ones that make it to the Super Bowl, hell, even the Patriots done had games like that over the years. Remember the one year when they went to Super Bowl, but they played the Lions, and the Lions whooped their ass. And the Lions no more after that, but they beat the Patriots. It happens, bro. I think that was just one of them games for the Chargers. Chargers still good. They still gonna be in it. They still probably gonna win their division at this point because the Chiefs, they ain't looking too cool. It was just one of them games.
I was just probably into all the hype up too, man, because the Form 1 teams and how good the stats were and how great the guys were playing. And it was just one of them games where I just feel like the Chargers couldn't get no momentum going, man. But at the same time, is the Ravens that good though to you?
That is why it's so hard to predict NFL football. Any given Sunday, a team could rise up and dominate their opponent, and you don't understand why or what. It just happens. Ask the Cleveland Browns about that.
Me and H2 was talking about that too. I said, damn, it's going to be harder for the Chargers, the Ravens to beat the Chargers than the Cowboys and the Patriots. And that's the game we about to get into next, man. That was a game that I definitely didn't expect to be the way it was, man. It definitely shocked me more than it should have. But like you said, that's one of them any given Sunday games. But at the same time, man, they had a good game plan going up against Dak and the Cowboys, man. And it worked for the most part, man, but they just came up short.
Indeed. But yeah, like I said, the Cowboys, they're looking real good right now, H2. Your adopted team, I must admit. They looking really, really nice over there. They got everything clicking.
I'm not trying to hate on them either, E, but you know that face mask penalty caused if that face mask penalty went the way it should have, it could have been different, man. But could have, should have. It's now.
National Football League, it's at least 2 or 3 questionable calls that change the course of a whole game. We had this conversation every week. Hell, that game where we lost to the Ravens, we all talk about how they should have had that penalty for delay a game, and it didn't happen. It happens, man. That's just part of the game. It's in the game.
Yeah, it's still the early season, H2, but damn, that boy's been balling, man. You already know why. I told you my fantasy team. You know who my quarterback was this week.
Yes, sir.
How did you feel about, I got to bring my boy up in there, man, Mo Bambama ties. The Bills and Titans game, man. I looked at this game and I said, man, it's going to actually be okay. But I thought the Bills was going to kind of run away. I mean, at least with a touchdown lead. At the same time, man, sometimes I think the NFL believe they own hype too, or the analysts. Everybody picked the Bills that game. And I was like, man, yeah, I think the Bills are winning in a close one, probably by a touchdown. Wake up the next morning, looked at the ESPN. It didn't go the way I expected it.
I gotta be honest, y'all. This probably been one of the better seasons for Monday Night Football ever so far. We done got at least 3 or 4 quality games.
Really good ones.
And that definitely was one of them. The bottom line is the reason why the Titans are in the mix, period, is because they have that one X factor that no other team can pretty much duplicate at this point. They got King Henry. And when that big 6'3", 250-pound nightmare get a full head of steam, anything could happen. Hold on. Let's get these comments in. Had to get the Devils do the count. They do look good, Pratt. I can't lie. It's really kind of hard this season to say who's going to win. I mean, I agree. There's definitely no dominant team per se. We could kind of argue the Bucks a little bit. But for the most part, yeah, early on in the season, it's a few teams that's kind of up there with each other.
Yeah, because the boys and Cardinals look pretty damn good, too.
Now, see, here's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up, Pride. There is that holistic thing that him and Eli was doing. It will be back in season 8, I believe. They have some reason why they are not able to do it for the next few weeks. But it definitely brought a very interesting perspective to what goes on throughout the game on Monday Night Football. Keep in mind, Peyton Manning is a football super savant. You know, a lot of reason why people like Tony Romo, because he's able to kind of pick out what's going to happen before it happens. Peyton Manning can do it even to a greater degree. That and the fact that he is kind of entertaining in his own little knucklehead way. DJ Genesis, what's going on? But yeah, I definitely want to see them bring that back. I really wouldn't mind if at some point in the game they would have them kind of do the analysts like for like the whole third quarter or something like that. Like actually live during the game as opposed to on the other network. I think that'd be real interesting. But yeah. Bottom line, King Henry, if that dude decide I'm about to run up and through y'all today, and it's very little y'all can do to stop me, 200-some yards later, Titans might blow you out. Period. And some teams, they ain't going to be able to deal with that. I'm glad that the Lions don't play him this year because that defensive front we got, once he blow past that and get into our secondary, that can't even tackle hunger, let alone their own man. Nah, he been to have 300 yards on us.
And the Bills ain't a bad team either, man, on defense. But damn, one of them runs, man, he basically got to that second level, and you couldn't catch him, man. It was like he was like 5-6 yards ahead of people, man, and that's just really unheard of for a guy that big to have that strength and speed on top of that, man.
20 miles per hour he ran on that long run on Monday night. You know how quick that is?
You ain't tackling the 6'3", 250-pound guy who running that fast. You just believe it.
Bottom line is, you know, they talk about NFL, sometimes you make business decisions when you determine who you're going to tackle and who not. Tackling him by yourself is definitely a business decision.
Because I noticed my man Ryan Tannehill made the throws when necessary, but the only touchdown I've seen him get, and they didn't even put it on the stats most times, he ran one in. But for the most part, the whole load went to the Derrick Henry.
I do kind of see that dude just carrying about 5 or 6 of him into the end zone. I definitely could see that happening. But yeah, man, I'm not surprised they won that game. I'm just surprised how it all went down.
How they stopped my man.
They wouldn't surprise me beating anybody in the league right now.
Not at all. But to see how they won that game, man, they won it on defense because their defense hasn't been as great as it has been in the past. They basically some games you look up and be like, damn, what team is going to bring out there? But man, to get Josh Allen on a fourth and one man to win the game like a walk-off win like that, that was really impressive, man. I want to see what the defense going to do from here out. And they have a key matchup this week too, man. I want to ask you about that too, man. And we'll discuss it more next week. How do you feel about them, the Titans? I mean, playing the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tennessee Titans going to be at home.
I don't know what to expect from Kansas City at this point. I mean, clearly they got issues on defense. That's a given. That's only half of the problem, though. In terms of the offense, they got all them weapons, but for whatever reason, Mahomes ain't focused in like he should be. I would really like for him to sit down and look at some tape of the GOAT, one Thomas Brady. What's up, Shada? Because he's making it work over there. Understand, you got Evans and Brown and Gronk and all of them, and they want the ball, okay? They want the ball. Fournette, they all want the ball. And somehow he manages to manage it where they all get the ball, okay? They may not all get it in the one game, but usually if Evans gets off in one game, then the next week, AB going to get off. AB get off one game, the next week, Gronk going to get off. Or last week, it was Fournette that was doing most of the heavy lifting. He has a way to sprinkle it out and to get them to buy into that. Somehow we need to do that over there in Kansas City because right now, it's like whenever we're looking for the big play, where the cheetah at? Let me throw it to him. You just run fast as you can. I'm going to air it on out. That's going to work for some teams, but other teams, they got like Derwin James and people like that. They got people like Young Diggs, who is definitely the defensive MVP right now coming out of Dallas. So, yeah, you're not always going to be able to pull it like that. You got to start utilizing all of your weapons. So if you do that, then you will dominate like you all have the last couple seasons.
You said Trayvon Diggs. What school he came from, E? I don't know. I want you to refresh my memory.
You know good and damn well what school that dude came from.
Where's from, E? Does it start with an A?
That's his brother Stephen where he came from.
Does it end with an A?
This dude.
Okay. Enough said, E. You catch my drift.
He came from the same school that the majority of damn near everybody in the league came from.
But
Yep. Just like if you look at the WNBA, where the half of them come from? UConn.
For sure. Yeah, I just really feel afraid for that team too, man, because they're starting to drop passes. Peter dropped a lot of passes. Patrick Mahomes making like really bad decisions. A lot of that stuff he was doing just freestyling with the no-look pass and all that crazy stuff, man. Guys are trying to catch it and it's falling off the fingertips, man. I've seen the cheetah drop so many open passes. I don't know what the heck going on, man. It just seems like the chemistry is not there, man. And yeah, like you said, that defense is real bad, man. And I didn't even know my man Rashad really wasn't over there no more, man. And I said, damn, that doesn't help because that's all you have now to depend on is the honey badger. They're not getting any pass reps, man. Frank Clark, they played okay last week, but I just didn't feel like they did enough, man. And I still feel like with like we talked about last week, my man, this is not a strong Heineke is the starting quarterback, so that made that game even easier. You had at least Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think that the game would have been a little closer, or it would have been to the point where Washington might pull it out.
Hold on, Hugh. Van is saying, did you hear Deshaun Watson is about to be traded? I've heard no such thing. Have you, sir?
Yeah, I've definitely been hearing about that rumor, man. They talking about 3 teams are in the mix right now, and he's supposed to be getting traded. And on top of that, they were saying it was a rumor about Tua Tagovailoa. So if that's one of the cases with Tua Tagovailoa, they were saying it was a rumor that they're trying to send him to the Broncos because no disrespect to Teddy, man, but Teddy was starting to run out of steam at the end of these games, and he want to throw the ball all the way down the field, and he's not using Elvin Gordon. He needs to use him faster. he on my fantasy team. But anyway, I feel like Teddy's not doing enough over there, man. He has sparks, but I feel like they need to put a little heat under him, man. But if Tua goes over there, he definitely might have a quarterback competition. But at the same time, if that happens, you already know bringing a room in for Deshaun Watson at Miami. You know, we've been hearing that rumor a lot. But I want to know about the other two teams that are supposedly involved in the trade. And I want to see what happened around the trade deadline. It's really going to be interesting to see what happened and where he's going to land.
All right. Well, while we do that, let me give y'all some quick updates here because you know we got a full slate tonight. The NBA. It's the first real big night. Let's give y'all some scores. Right now, we got the Hornets beating the Pacers by 1 with 4 seconds left. That's a good one. You got the Knicks and the Celtics playing. Knicks up by 6. You got the Wizards whooping the Raptors right now, 81-59.
Jesus.
We got the Grizzlies winning by 6 over Cleveland. We got the Timberwolves beating the snot out of the Rockets. It's going to be a long year in Houston, no doubt.
They like the Jaguars.
We got the 76ers and the Pelicans, 76ers by 7. No Ben Simmons playing tonight, by the way. We got the Spurs playing the Magic. Spurs winning by 9. The Jazz and Thunder just started playing, and of course, the Bulls beat the Pistons. I lost my money. I bet on that one.
It was pretty close, though.
It wasn't close enough. Pistons 5.5. They won by 6. They're about to get rid of Westbrook. No way, bro. That's so not about to happen. I disagree. And he said, and Kyrie Irving. That's a 50-50. I don't think that's going to happen at the moment.
No, man. Definitely with Kyrie, what he brings to the table.
Right. If anybody, as we talked about earlier, Ben Simmons, that's going to be the one that's going to end up going somewhere.
That'd be funny if he did go to the Wizards and they got Bradley Beal for a bid.
Now, understand the reason why my damn Pistons lost last night because, you know, Mr. Cunningham is not playing yet. They said it's probably going to be another week before he plays with that bad ankle. It's very not good to start your career out that way with an injury. Facts, John Wall's out of there too. John Wall is pretty much done in the league. Let's be honest. Remember, that was the number 1 pick in the draft when he came out. He ain't nowhere close to that status right now. My guess is by the end of the season, John Wall will probably be in the Chinese basketball league somewhere. over there wearing some Marburys. It's a wrap for him.
I don't know what's up with Jay Wall too. That's my boy, man. But just don't feel like it just seems like wherever he go, man, he toxic, man. That's what it's starting to seem like. You notice that he brings his toxicity to everywhere he go, man, and it just spreads. It spreads fast.
It's true. It's damn true. He said it's the best he has ever felt. John Wall said that. Yeah, okay. It may be the best you ever felt, but it ain't the best you ever played. Now somebody's trying to PK me. That's not good.
Yeah, E-Man, we talked about the last game I'm about to discuss too a little ahead of time. And what do you think is going to happen, or how good do you think that Bengals-Ravens game is going to be? I definitely think it's going to be an interesting, a more entertaining game than people are getting credit for.
Well, keep in mind, surprisingly, the Raiders won last week. They basically rallied around the situation, and they played for each other, and that made them good.
They look good, didn't they?
I think they're going to win again this week. I think they're going to keep that party rolling.
It's good, too, for that team, man, because we always want to know where the quarterback head was, man. But it's weird, too, because he talked about how he loved Gruden and how he loved him as a coach. But now that Gruden's gone, it just seems like he played with a little bit more passion and more gritty.
I don't talk about the racist piece of filth anymore. And to add the confusion, here's this guy.
Oh, yeah, you know, I can't wait. I'm going to have my hot chocolate ready.
I feel about this Olympics like I felt about the previous Olympics. They should not be having it. There are the people in the Chinese government that are saying, yeah, we having the games no matter what. There are people in China saying, no, they shouldn't have the games. COVID is still an issue. So I feel like they shouldn't have the Winter Olympics just like they shouldn't have had the summer ones. And much like that, I'm not going to support those Olympics either when they come. I'm not watching, especially if it ain't going to be no people in the crowd. So whether they have curling or whatever sucky sport they have, I don't care.
Man, I was looking at some of the matchups too and trying to see if there was really going to be some huge marquee matchups, but man, it's nothing that really stuck out to me besides that Chiefs and Titans game. But then you do have the Bears Buccaneers, but it's going to be the Buccaneers at home, and then I just feel like my man's Justin Fields got a lot of growing plans, but like you said, you never know. You get a Sunday, man. Because remember, at one point, let's be honest, E. I know you can flash back maybe a couple years ago, maybe longer now, man. When Deshaun Watson, man, he came out and he wasn't playing the greatest football at the time. He was playing okay. He was using his legs more than he was his arm, but they still won a few games. But when they played the Patriots, I was like, well, man, I think that he's not ready yet. So there's a possibility that they might lose by like a touchdown or maybe 10 points. And that damn Deshaun Watson got off, man. I was like, what the hell was this 2 games ago? And it seemed like after that game, it just seemed like Deshaun Watson said, okay, I know how it is to play in the NFL. And he grasped that. He took it and ran with it his whole career.
Well, see, here's the thing, Hugh. I think part of why you're not finding a lot of these matchups interesting because you're not looking at some of the underlying undertones of some of them. Take the Panthers and the Giants, for example. We already know what the situation is. We got Daniel Jones. He is not living up to his expectations. We almost forgot that Saquon Barkley is even on that damn team because they're not utilizing him correctly. That offensive line is getting him all jacked up. So at this point, I look at that game like, okay, is this the game they're going to pull the plug? Because bottom line, the Panthers, they up and coming, but they're not on that level yet. If they start pounding and dominating like Cowboys did to them a couple weeks ago, it may be time to make that move. This might be the game that gets Joe Judge fired. So I look at that. How could you not look at what should be a very marquee matchup between the Bengals and the Ravens this week, man?
I already talked about that. You brushed it off. You start talking about the Ravens.
Well, that being said, you should shut me up and put some input on it, bro. This your show.
Because I feel like that's going to be a better game than people expect too, man. Because I don't think the Ravens are going to like blow them out like that, man. I think it's going to be a closer game because there's 2 division rivals, man. I think if the Ravens do beat them, it'll be 6.5, man. I don't see it being anything more than that.
And see, then I also look at that Washington football team game. Is this the game where they finally decide, look, it's time for us to stop bullshitting? Heineke is not the answer. Yes, Coach V, I will say it again. He is not the answer at quarterback. It is time to call Cam and have him come on through.
Definitely with the background with Ron Rivera too, man. And it's sad, like you said too. I'm glad you definitely brought him up because now he's fully vaccinated and he's looking for a team to play on. And we discussed before too, and if people wasn't aware of, the Seahawks was one of the teams who gave him a call when everything happened with Russell Wilson. But for now, they're going with Geno Smith. And watching that last game with them and the Steelers was probably one of the most depressing games I've ever seen.
I would agree. But
and then Roll was trying to throw that in my face about how about them boys? How about those Pittsburgh Steelers? Are they what you thought they were? E? How Big Ben playing? You thought he was going to do well this year, didn't you? How that team look to you so far?
The problem in Pittsburgh is 2 things. One, we done forgot how good the run was supposed to be. You got Harris, you utilize him at points, but you don't utilize him fully. I think you should get the same type of production out of him that Tennessee is getting out of King Henry. He is that type of power, every down type of back.
And he good at catching the ball, man. That really surprised me when he played, man, how good he is out the backfield and receiving as well.
So there's that. Then, of course, we clearly see how Juju Schuster was a factor on that squad. Now that he's gone for the season, it has definitely changed how he looks at the field. I think Juju was always option one with him at this point. And now that he's not there, the other people, they just don't get as open as Juju do. And because Ben is not the improviser in the pocket that he once was, that's part of the problem as well.
I think Dante Johnson been playing exceptionally well, but the person who's been the biggest disappointment this year has been Chase Claypool, man. He emerged and he looked so good last year because most people were focused on Juju. And now when Juju was injured, he had a chance to showcase his talents, and it just wasn't there for me, man. I just feel like Chase needs to do a little bit more, man. He had issues with separation. Ben was throwing the ball right there in his hands, and he was dropping it. And I just feel like, yeah, like you said, that is a huge factor to not have Juju there and for him to be the number one. And that's why I think he got a lot of those balls he got last year and a lot of the catches that Chase Claypool had. But yeah, really surprised at how he's not taking advantage of that situation. But the Dante Johnson guy, he definitely took that situation and ran with it. But yeah, man, that's a huge factor on that team. And plus, that line is not as great as it used to be. They lost a few pieces, especially one that went to Baltimore, Villanova. But man, that was a huge blow. Them losing him, man. Probably money issues, and I would need to get some more money to TJ Watt. But at the same time, man, that offensive line hasn't never been really great. But now they're really struggling this year, man. So it's that involved as well with some of being issues. I would definitely have to say.
Mm. Okay. Wait a minute. I'm gonna address that in a minute. Something is wrong here, people. Something is technically wrong, that is.
What's up, E?
I'm not sure, but I think we're gonna have to wrap this up shortly, my friend. It's not on your end.
Right? You winding it down anyway, man. So yeah, we was just about there.
Yeah, the Dell is doing something really quirky right now. But yeah, this was yeah. Let me get this in, y'all, before something bad happens. All right, people. This has been Game Time Audible. That as Hugh Lee, the sports guru. Hopefully, you guys enjoy him running the show this week. If so, please let me know in the comments. You can hit us up in the comments when you watch the show later on this evening. Or you can hit us up here at nighthNetwork313 at gmail.com. nighthNetwork313 at gmail.com. If you have any suggestions for the show, what you would like for us to do, if we're talking about football or baseball, not some of the other stuff as much. If you want us to talk more about some of the things we did talk about tonight, please let us know. Next week, I'm going to, on the show, introduce you guys to a new sport. Very interesting sport, I might add. And of course, we'll talk about all the other things that we usually talk about. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me, Hugh?
Yeah, I can hear you, E. Loud and clear, bro.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna go from there. But yeah, before we cut out, Hugh, you know what to do.
Y'all already know by now, man. Hit up that Purity the Game website, man. You know, for my broadcast. That's all I do all day, every day, man. Sometimes I'm supposed to be doing it at work, but hey, man, I got to do what I got to do. Whatever y'all want to hear, or if y'all want to hear from a different sport, more of it for me to bring in collectively, let me know. But for the most part, man, whatever news out there, whatever update information out there, man, I try to give it to y'all first. So yeah, check out that Pure to the Game, man. Appreciate the likes, love, and all the support too as well. So yeah, check me out, man.
Absolutely. Okay, hold on. Yes, says H2. And y'all, again, I apologize for the abrupt ending, but we're having some technical difficulties earlier, and apparently that may be the case again. It's a message my computer is telling me, and I need to figure out what the Smurf is talking about. So based upon that and our time, we about to head on out. We will be on again next week. Hugh, I'm letting you know now, and everybody else in the crowd. The following week, I will not be available to do the show. I don't know if he was going to choose to do it or have a co-host or whatnot. I guess we will talk about that afterwards. But basically, my birthday is coming up, and November 3rd is the day after my birthday. And I do have some things that are being planned for me on that day. So as a result, I will not be available. I do apologize to my co-host, but when I explain the scenario, I'm sure he will fully understand. But nonetheless, that being said, we about to get up out of here, y'all, before my computer zonks out on us anyway. So thank you guys for coming through. We appreciate. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the gifting here on the Bigo, and for everybody chipping in their thoughts in regards to what we talked about. This is Game Time Audible for this week, and we thank you as always. Bless up indeed, Shada. Thank you for coming through, brother. Appreciate it. And we will see you guys next week at this time to talk more sports with you. Any final words, Hugh?
Appreciate y'all, man. Love and thank for all the support, man.
All right. Don't go nowhere, Hugh. After this, I'm going to talk to you for a second. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, we out, y'all. 2 fingers peace, baby. There it is. Game Time Audible is a Nighthawk Network presentation.